If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your favorite words I would choke.
Happy Top 5 Tuesday to everyone in the sports universe. It is August the 16th, 2022. This is the AM Drive on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Good morning to all. Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carvilla saying good morning, Aaron.
And a good morning to you, sir. I think this might be the first show in the history of the AM Drive where my room looks lighter than yours. My room is always like a dark cave, but I didn't do anything different today. It just feels, I don't know.
Maybe they're ready for, maybe like the gods are ready for our top 15 NFL players since 1985 because I had to, yes, the year has been adjusted.
Yes, I think we had to do 1990. Otherwise, we'd be pulling what little we have left of our hair out at this point.
Because if Joe Montana's on if Tom Brady's on the list, I had to put Joe Montana on the list.
So you just ruined the entire list then?
No.
We agreed to do 1990, and now you just ruined everything.
Okay, never mind. It's still 1990. I'll keep 1990. Well, who else besides Joe Montana would creep in? Lawrence
Taylor would creep in.
Oh, no.
I mean, there's a few guys in the 80s that would creep in. I mean,
that's fair.
That's a tough spot because if you just look at it statistically, I mean, there's a lot of guys in the 80s and 90s that wouldn't even make the list. I mean, it's tough for me to say all the way back to 85. Just because, like I said, you look at 1990, Joe Montana was done by then for all intents and purposes. So he can't make it
in 2022. But
you say so, but but the fact of the matter is, I believe the Bucs are like second in Super Bowl odds. I believe he's like second or third in MVP, and he's how old? How old is he, Mike? Remind me how old he is.
48.
Exactly. So calm down.
Okay. Let's get into it. Our show was presented by our YouTube once again, AM Drive with Mike and Aaron. Search it up. Best segments in one place. And also watch our videos on there too, like our live shows. We're on there. So it's real easy. If you want the best segments, you can also find our full shows. It's pretty fun. Instead of scrolling through all of our Twitters, we clap back at people like Glenn Kaplan. No, I'm kidding. AM Drive with Mike and Aaron on YouTube. Too easy. Okay. Not a shot. Not my precious son. Let's get right into it. Fernando Tatis Sr. decided he was going to do his best impression of stupid dads. He basically said that the MLB loses because my son tested positive, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's how that works. Like, you cheat, and no matter how good you are, you pay the price, and so does the league. So, Dad, if I was Tatis Jr., I'd say, just shut up, Dad. Just shut up, because you're making it worse.
You know, it is. It's a tough one because this specific drug or whatever you call it, steroid. Clostebol, however you say it, has been on the banned list since suspension has been ramped up in 2003. It's been on the list since day one, and I don't know what to tell you if this is the difference between a third world country where you are rehabbing for an injury that you were being stupid about, or if this is just people trying to sneak a fast one. I'd like to give Fernando Tatis Jr. the benefit of the doubt here and say that he really did take something for a skin condition that ultimately had a banned substance. But when you sign these contracts, they're pretty ironclad, especially a 14-year deal. And the majority of your teammates, including the general manager, don't really come to your defense. Like, nobody's out there, free, Tatis, or hey man, this just doesn't seem like his character, or and the GM has been mentioning a series of incidents by Tatis and wondering if he's going to be able to mature, basically, for lack of a better word. The general manager, I think, used the words trust issues in the comments. So on the flip side, it doesn't really look to me like a lot of people are coming to bat, no pun intended, for Fernando Tatis Jr., except his dad. And ultimately, acknowledging your son made a mistake is really just where you need to stop. And he says, look, my son has a shed of humility here. We have accepted the penalty, and we will just get back and try to make, his career image rehabilitated by becoming the best player we can be on and off the field. But to basically say that his image is destroyed and baseball is going to take a hit, maybe so. I don't think, they're saying that all of Dominican Republic's not going to watch. I mean, look, Fernando Tatis, you're not the only Dominican player in the league. They're not going to just shut their TVs off. So for me, I understand coming to bat for your son, but yeah, you may have stuck your foot a little too far into your mouth on that last part with baseball will be catastrophically damaged by your son not playing in the playoffs. No, life will go on. I mean, he literally will not be here for 2022. And I wouldn't say we forgot about baseball.
I'll put it this way, as a person who's a casual baseball fan right now, and I use that term lightly, I forgot that he was even injured because the Padres have been doing so good. So the average fan, yeah, it's nice to have a guy like him in there, but the league is not suffering when there's so many good teams right now playing so well. So
I totally agree with that. And now that they've acquired Juan Soto, it makes his presence in this season even less needed, I guess you can say. They're still one of the top teams, especially in the NL. I mean, look, we look at the Dodgers and what they've done recently, and it's almost like, just hand them the World Series appearance right now at this point. And we said that about the Yankees, and I feel like the minute we said about the Yankees, that trend has just gone downhill. And I know we have our MLB top 5, so I'd be interested to see where teams have shifted this week. But, I mean, I'm not going to say you're not better without Tatis Jr., but I think you're actually making your image worse by coming out and saying these things about the MLB. And like I said, this whole year has basically been marred for Tatis by steroids and, dicking around on your motorcycle and getting into an accident, which has caused you to miss the entire season up till now. So, it's a problem.
Now, trust issues. I wonder where those came from.
Amen.
Tiger Woods might low-key be vying for Jay Monahan's. This is Jay Monahan's the commissioner of PGA, right? Okay. Well, he might be low-key vying for the commissioner spot because there's now reports that Tiger's going to meet with a group of players, most of them top 20. And he's going to try to maybe convince them or get on the same page as to what we're doing with Live Golf here. Aaron, I'll go first here. I love this so much, man. Like, to me, I'll be completely honest. As much as I love Tiger, as much as I think the media was unfair to him because he cheated on his wife, like no one ever does that. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying, like, no one, like that's what athletes do. But to me, he comes across as a jerk a lot of times, as a quiet guy. I met people that work at Augusta National, and they're kind of like, yeah, like he's not the nicest individual. This right here is cool. This right here is amazing.
I'll say a short little tangent. The media didn't blast him for cheating on his wife. The media blasted him because he was not nice to them, and he was just he walked around like he was holier than you, and he was a god to the game. And I mean, yeah, he was.
That's what it seemed like, yeah.
The way he acted was the problem. And that, a lot of it stemmed from his dad. And obviously they love him now because of the humility that he has gone through. But anyways, not to get too far off on this tangent. Yeah, this really, and I would love to have Tony Johnson here with us in the studio to talk about this, because this isn't necessarily, I'm not fully on the I told you so wagon here, but the PGA has a problem. And again, I have sat here from day one, not supporting Live Golf and not necessarily supporting the PGA Tour in their attacks on Live Golf. I still love the PGA Tour. I'm thinking about getting more and more into this, to the Live Golf match coming up in Boston, I believe, in September. Shout out 54 Live Pod for that info. But yeah, the PGA Tour now realizes that they have a competitor, a foe, and all these months of basically dogpiling on, I think they're really starting to see that they might have a legitimate problem. And I really believe that after this FedEx Cup playoff is over, and I said this yesterday, I really believe after this FedEx Cup playoff, we're going to see some players defect. And my issue with it is, the PGA Tour has become a monopoly over the Asian Tour, over the DP World Tour, which used to be the European Tour. They have a AAA system in the Korn Ferry Tour. Like, they weren't always the big boy on campus. They became a monopoly maybe by doing things that are a little unsavory. And like, the issue is, we have a problem with these players taking money that's alleged Saudi blood money, this and that. But we don't have problems with major corporations doing business with these companies, major corporations who are also sponsors of PGA Tour events, which hand, although inadvertently, these other PGA players, they hand them checks. And, Tiger came out and said, Tiger's obviously the one that really has no need or business going to LIV Golf, to Live Golf. He's made billions. He's made $1 billion plus dollars between advertisements and on the tour. So again, Tiger Woods going to Live Golf is the ultimate hypocritical situation. So he knows that. And the PGA Tour knows that Tiger Woods moves the needle. Therefore, bringing him in for something like this, maybe this is a big nothing burger. Because, first of all, I don't think he's taking the commissioner's job. I'll say that right now.
I know it's...
But what are they really going to accomplish? I mean, maybe their first, and maybe Tiger thinks this too, but maybe their first, act of business is to just focus on their own tour. If guys want to go to Live, just tell the general public, look what we still have here. We still have great, and like I said, these guys, Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, potentially Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, like, as these other players leave, they become the big stars. Like DJ, remember, DJ was a big star for a while. He's gone. Bryson was the most talked about player on tour, whether it was good or bad. He's gone now too. Brooks Koepka was the next coming of Tiger Woods when he won his 4 majors. He's gone. Phil Mickelson was the nice guy in golf until all of a sudden he made his... See, this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, all these guys, all they want to do is vilify these guys rather than focus on what they're doing. And this is what I was talking about with Rory McIlroy. You need to be the guy that, here it is, playoff time, and you said it yesterday as your worst of the weekend. Time, Rory McIlroy is sitting out this one on the weekend. Your best player, your spokesperson, your voice of reason of the PGA Tour is not there on Saturday and Sunday. That is a problem. So to sum up really kind of this argument is, the PGA Tour now knows that Live Golf is there. They're in the backyard, or they are standing outside of the front yard ready to take over the house.
Right. I love the way the PGA Tour is set up. I think it's way... I know that people like to think that Live Golf is cool with the way he's trying to do things, but like, to me, PGA Tour is like, I love the player cuts. I love everything about it. And to me, Jay Monahan almost gets in his own way. Remember that letter he sent out to people? Remember when he said, remember where you stand on this? The last line, like, kind of threw me off, like threw me and Tony Johnson off. It was like, So who are you in it for? You in it for your players? Or you in it for yourself?
But here's the situation. Like, I can respect coming out and saying, look, what the PGA Tour has given you.
Right.
It seems a little disrespectful to turn your back on that. I can understand that if that was, period, hard stop, end of transmission. And look, we're going to focus on building our league. And that sounds like what they're going to try to do is focus on what can the PGA Tour do to realistically maintain its dominance. And look, Live Golf is still in its most infant stages of being, like, right now. Like, I'm not saying that they may ever go to a cut system, but at the same time, like, they may reshape and revamp the way that Live Golf is played. Yes, the shotgun start's a little strange to me. I mean, some people like it. But, the no-cut system, the money. I mean, the money, sitting there, these guys who, I look at it two ways. Like, you look at the DJs, the Koepkas, the Brysons, the Bubbas. Bubba's never competitive. Bryson really was vilified by the PGA Tour. They made him into a villain. Dustin Johnson was incredibly successful. He's, depending on what happens here with all this, he's a Hall of Famer in the PGA. Now, he may never get inducted because of all this. And Brooks Koepka's a Hall of Famer in the PGA as well. They've done everything they need to do in Live Golf. They've done it all. In the PGA Tour. So they seem comfortable taking that $100 million and setting up their family with generational wealth. Where that money comes from, you take that out of the window. We'd all do it. If someone put $100 million in front of you, I think 98% of us would do it. And I believe that the only people that wouldn't do it are the ones that are probably receiving similar type money, the Rahms, the McIlroys, the Tigers. Like, the PGA Tour has money. Maybe not Saudi money, but the PGA Tour has money to keep their cash cows happy. But then you look at on the flip side, guys like Taylor Gooch, some of the other names just gave me, Matt Wolff, who was a very promising golfer who now can't seem to stay competitive because he's got injuries. Like, they were also put, probably not $100 million, but probably in the neighborhood of $20 to $40 million. Like, that is just before even competing on the tour, on this Live Tour. Like, the problem with it is like, Taylor Gooch is a name that you probably never heard of. The fact of the matter is, he was in competition week after week after week, but he was getting beat by golfers that were better than him. He was never really going to become a PGA Tour superstar. So I don't see a problem with some of these guys who are never going to be the superstar jumping these as well. The series itself, the question really is it going to be recognized by OWGR, the World Golf Rankings? And if it does, then the PGA Tour is really in trouble, because the OWGR, the World Golf Rankings, are golfers qualify for majors. So if live golfers can qualify for majors, the PGA Tour might as well just sit back, because there's really nothing they can do.
So LV, take your part and get to the door.
They'll still be around, but they're in trouble if they decide to accept recognition for the Live Golf Tour.
We'll be back. Coming up next, top 5 baseball teams and number 15 through number 11 of the best NFL players since 1990. We'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap, because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask.
actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
All right, and welcome back here to the AM Drive on this Top 5 Tuesday. I am so excited for this segment, but first we've got to let you know about Fanatics. They are the #1 name when it comes to sports memorabilia, autographs, merchandise, etc. What do you have to do, Mike, when you go to mikeandaarondrive.com, which is our website, and click that dedicated affiliate link? What do you have to do when you get into there, into that Fanatics website? What do you have to do? Just times like a million.
Clicking at the car. Clicking at the car, clicking at the car, clicking at the car.
Amen. See, like you have to do that. Just click add to cart. It's so easy because you look one page. There's 2 or 3 things you like. You go to the next team. Maybe you got a couple teams. Maybe your family is all house divided kind of things. Like in my house, it's you got the Florida States, you got the UCFs of the world. Like there's house divided.
Georgia, Florida here.
Yeah. See, so you have to kind of just. There's so many things you can buy, and the best part about it is, once you get to that $24 mark, they give you free shipping with the code 24SHIP, which we talked about yesterday. Like I'd rather spend more money on apparel at a place than pay for shipping. So they've got that taken care of for you 100%. MikeandAaronDrive.com, click the Fanatics logo, click add to cart times a million because it helps out the channel and helps out the show. And for that, we thank you.
I was about ready to jump you there.
I saw that. You tried to jump the gun a little bit. But a curveball here.
Oh, hey, so baseball. This is actually I've never been so not excited for a top 5 baseball list because
really?
of
Why
what's
so?
coming. Huh?
Oh, because of the next segment after.
Yeah, because
that.
of what's coming up next. But it must go on. Week 18 of baseball has been complete. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty much set, except for somebody dropped. Oh, you guessed it. Number 5 are the Atlanta Braves still. They are catching up, and I feel so good being early on this wagon. I remember putting them up there early, and now they're swinging on all cylinders. Number 4, dropping a spot. Aaron Judge and the Yankees. I don't know when his random drug test is coming, but it can't come soon enough for me because that'll just be the nail in the coffin for this team that was kind of slumping. They're not slumping anymore. Yeah, they're still 2-8 in their last 10. They're still losing. I'm okay with that. Big Yankee show here. Number 3, those trash can banging bastards, those Houston Asterisks, those Astros are up to number 3. And I'm telling you, man, Astros to me we talked about how the Yankees would be threatened by the Astros. Looks like Astros might be the favorites if those two meet up. Number 2, those New York Mets, man. I've been having them all year. And boy, I don't know what it is about Francisco Lindor. I know there's other people that went there. But Francisco Lindor, the Indians / the Guardians look incredible when he's there. And then when he goes to the Mets, all of a sudden they're winners. Hey, Francisco Lindor looking pretty good nowadays. And number 1, of course, is there anybody else out there? The Dodgers, man. I keep saying the Padres, they don't want to see them in the playoffs, but man, I think they just lost that Shane Buehler guy for the season, I believe. So that's
Walker
not
Buehler?
good. Huh?
Walker Buehler?
Yeah, whatever his name is. That guy.
Pitcher. Yeah, that's a tough loss, especially with
blow.
Kershaw being out too. That's a big blow to them. But right now, yeah, you're right. It's tough to not have them at number 1 just because of, if you have a chance to watch Julio Urias pitch, the lefty, number 7, incredible. He's absolutely incredible this year. And he's not getting enough recognition here for potential Cy Young candidacy. But like, look at this situation. Like, I think they won like 12 or 13 straight games just on the run line. Like, think about doubling that up on the run line. You'd be a pretty rich boy right now.
Rich
but
boy.
yeah, exactly. If I had all the money in the world,
if I was a wealthy boy. Okay.
So I have a new team entering my top 5 after just really holding on to the Twins probably longer than I should have. So my top 5 starts with the Braves, of course, as well. I mean, the best team. They'd be leading 3 divisions if it weren't for the division they were in. So the Braves come in at 5. Mets still at 4 because I still believe, while they're playing incredibly right now, it's really hard to do these because I still think in a 7-game series, in the World Series, the Yankees would beat them. The question I have right now is, can they beat the Braves? Can they beat the Dodgers? And I don't know. The Braves Mets game, the series will be fun if that's what ends up being like one of the first series with the wild cards here. Yankees have slid from number 2 to number 3. To me, I really think they're going to get it figured out. And the thing is, they've been pretty putrid since the All-Star break, but they still have a 98.3% chance of making the playoffs. That actually is the highest playoff percentage chance, and we're even talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers here. We're sitting at 96.7. So it's pretty damn impressive what they did in the first half of the season. So Astros slide in at number 2 here in this spot. They just, with no real star pitching, they just keep continuing to get it done.
Wonder how that's possible.
Maybe they've got invisible trash cans. I don't know. And then, of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers, first team to 80. But the Bueller thing is kind of big. But the thing is, the question I really have is that lineup. I mean, there's just not a weak spot in that lineup. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, you look at this situation. I mean, Cody Bellinger probably should be benched, and they could just pop in with Chris Taylor when he comes back. Justin Turner can move to DH, moving like Joey Gallo to the outfield. Like, it's just, they've just got studs at every position, that they have. So, I mean, they're gonna be tough to beat, but the pitching, the starting pitching leaves a lot to be desired, with probably no Kershaw and definitely no Walker Buehler. So,
you done?
I am the last person who wants to ball wash the Dodgers. Trust me.
I'm glad you caught that reference from the old days.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a year, dude. So this is gonna be so flipping freaking maha and fine, dude. You told me that word yesterday.
Fine.
Top 15 NFL players since 1990. I had to make a last-minute adjustment because I didn't make enough of those when I was making this whole list. It's not offense and defense. It's period. Okay, so this is big.
This was
Aaron,
tough.
I want you to go first, man. Number 15 through number 11. I cannot wait to see where you have Tom Brady. I know it's not today, but just go ahead.
Tom Brady will not be appearing in the list today. He might appear in your list, but I got to say, this was absolutely incredibly tough because I made a top 15 list, what I thought would take me like 10 minutes. And then, I started thinking about guys. And then, I was telling you, hey, I'm done. And you're like, yeah, I had to leave off this guy. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even think about that guy. Like, that guy didn't even come to mind. I mean, we're talking 32 years right now. And then originally, like, it started at 1985. But then I'm like, Joe Montana is going to take up a spot on this list. I feel like 1990. I mean, look, 1990, you weren't alive yet. I wasn't even watching football yet. So, again, just prefacing all that by saying this was an incredibly tough list. And just like the basketball list, like, I'm interested to see, like, because people are going to slam us for this.
We're crucified.
There's a guy who didn't make this list that I'm pretty sure at the end of the 3-day period here, you and all the other people are going to be scratching their head. But to me, he's just not on it. With having to do offensive, having offense and defense, it was really tough for them to make.
Just say Aaron Rodgers is an honorable mention. I'm ready for it. Just hit me with it.
Well, I didn't put any honorable mentions, but yes, Aaron Rodgers is not on my list. Aaron Rodgers is not on my list. This was tough. He's not on my list.
Peyton Manning is, I'm fine.
Peyton Manning is on my list, yes.
Thank God. Oh, go ahead.
And just a sneak peek for you, Peyton Manning will be revealed on Thursday. Let's put it that way. All right, let's get into it. 15 through 11 here, top NFL players since 1990. This first one, number 15, might be a little homerish, but the statistics and even the all-pro teams and even other lists that I've seen doing the research back me up here. He was one of the top 100 players of all time, and he was one of the best linebackers that I ever watched in my life, and that is number 55, Derek Brooks. Yes, he played for Tampa. Yes, he was incredible. Yes, I loved watching him. So at number 15 slides in there for me is Derek Brooks, the linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 14. Now, I would be remiss if one Green Bay quarterback did not get into my top 15 list. And he falls in here at number 14. I just thought he threw way too many interceptions. He took way too many chances. He only won one ring, despite the fact that he did win 3 MVPs in a row. I have to give him 100% props. Let's be honest. He started outside the top 15 until I had to start making some tough decisions. Yeah, for me, it's just there were better quarterbacks on this list, and there were better quarterbacks that didn't. Maybe not better, but there were quarterbacks statistically who were better who didn't make this list. So at number 14 for me is Brett Favre. He comes in at number 14, right behind Derek Brooks. Again, this list is tough. And like I said, you and I might even have some WTF moments for each other. Number 13, I felt like a tight end had to appear.
Yes.
A tight end had to be on this list just as a representation. And to me, despite you guys know my love affair for number 87, number 88 had to make this list. One of the best I saw ever do it. One of the most athletic guys to ever do it, and that's Tony Gonzalez.
Yes!
Tony Gonzalez made my top 15, sliding in here at the number 13 spot. It was tough. It was tough leaving Gronk off. He's got the most playoff reception yards in history. He was so dominating in his sport, but Tony Gonzalez did it as well. And realistically, he was the first of this position to say, you can't cover me. You can't cover me with a linebacker. You can't cover me with a safety. Bless your heart. Number 12 for me, and this is a model of consistency and a model of excellence, and probably could still walk out there and do it today. Number 12 for me is Larry Fitzgerald. The guy literally had more tackles than he had drops in his career. Now, I mean, it's insane. He had more tackles chasing down receivers, or chasing down D-backs from interceptions, than he had drops, legitimate drops in his career.
Oh my Lord.
I really feel bad for a long period of time that the quarterbacks that he had to deal with. Would love to see him get a ring. He was linked to the Patriots for years and years and years. But Larry Fitzgerald comes in. He has 17,000 all-purpose yards. That's a big number. And surefire Hall of Famer when that time comes, 100%. Larry Fitzgerald, number 12. And number 11 is another wide receiver that originally didn't make the list. But then I really started thinking about, why would I ever not have this guy on the list just because he didn't win a ring? And that's Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens with San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Dallas was one of the best wide receivers of his era. I mean, there's a guy on my list that's obviously going to be around, and there's actually two guys, but Terrell Owens is one of the best specimens I've ever seen, running routes, catching footballs. I'm turned off a little by his antics off the field, but we here at the AM Drive are hashtag on the field, and Terrell Owens belongs on this list. So to recap my 15 through 11, Derek Brooks, Brett Favre, Tony Gonzalez, Larry Fitzgerald, Terrell Owens.
None of those guys made my list. Is that wild? They were already at this point. You seem mad. Uh-oh.
I think my AirPods have finally bit the dust. So if you hear a double reverb, it's RIP AirPods. So what is the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
I said, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So, technical difficulties. So none of those guys made my list. That's wild to me.
Which ones?
All of them.
Well, you guys, none of those guys made your list? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Fair enough. Again, this was
wild.
tough. And, I will say this. When I first made my list, Aaron Donald came in at number 11. And he eventually, I just don't think he's done it long enough. He's kind of the Giannis argument. But what he's done, I think he's like 7-time first-team All-Pro. Like, how, I sit here and look at this, and I'm like, how do I leave Aaron Donald off? But, there's literally only one active player on my list.
Wait, what?
It's so tough.
That's fair because I have 2 active players.
All right, well, let's go. Let's hear it. Like I said, Derek Brooks was probably my homer pick.
Yeah.
But if you ever watch that guy play, behind Ray Lewis and probably Urlacher, and again, Urlacher to me didn't have the pedigree like Derek Brooks had. Like the rings and stuff. When you're looking at neck to neck, the rings come into play eventually.
Yeah. All right, number 15. This might be my homer pick, but I looked at the records again of all time, and Marvin Harrison made my list.
He probably should have made mine along with Marshall Faulk. Oh, sorry. I can't giving everything away, but Marshall Faulk was another one that, he was absolutely incredible. All-purpose, all scrimmage yards. This was so tough. It was 100% so tough.
I mean, wasn't one of the great players have been since 1990. But yeah, 128 receiving touchdowns, 14,580 yards, like 14,580 yards, 1,100 catches. It's just good stuff there. Number 14, I have a couple things highlighted for each of my guys. 67.7% completion percentage is insane. When I look at guys like Mahomes and Rodgers and others who don't even have that high of completion, it's just insane. So yeah, he only has 1 Super Bowl. And I honestly took him in and out of my list about 7 times. But then throwing for 80,000 plus yards, being in the race with Tom Brady for touchdown passes, and that 67.7%, shout out Drew Brees, man. I had to. That number was just too high to pass up on the most important position in the game, which is quarterback. Shout out Drew Brees, man. I did not want to put him on there, but I couldn't deny it.
He was never even in consideration due to the fact that majority of his yards came because he was on a bad team. He was always down.
That's a fair point. And I could agree with that, but I love the fact that he was a consistent quarterback.
I don't hate it. He never garnered consideration for my list.
That's okay. Number 13. This one I did not think was going to be on my list. Michael Strahan.
Wow. Okay.
Michael Strahan, 141.5 career sacks, 24 forced fumbles, 15 fumble recoveries, 4-time All-Pro, beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl on his back. On his back. But no, Strahan, when you look at the amount of sacks he had for like a 10-year period, it's like he had to make my list. There's going to be some defensive love in my list, by the way. Number 12, 7-time All-Pro, 98 sacks. I did not like only 98 sacks, but Aaron Donald, here you are. And the number I have highlighted, 7-time All-Pro. Very few guys on my list have.
He's a 7-time All-Pro, I believe, in 7 years. Correct me?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's only played in like 2014.
Well, also, he's an interior defensive lineman with 98 sacks in 7 years. Like, again, I have no problem with Aaron Donald being on there. My initial list, I believe he was number 11 or 12. Like, right. I just, there's such a body of work from these guys that are here. This had to be like a top 50 or top 30 or 20? Split it up. 15 offense, 15 defense. This is tough. And I'm so looking forward to the social media interaction from this.
Number 11, J.J. Watts.
Oh.
Have you all forgotten? Have you forgotten? Yeah, his brother might end up being better and higher on this list. But 26 forced fumbles is more than Aaron Donald. He has 16 fumble recoveries, 10 more than Aaron Donald. 102 sacks, I cannot fault him for playing more years. 2 interceptions. And yes, he does have 5-team All-Pro, like 5-time All-Pro. Oh, and by the way, Aaron Donald only has 285 solo tackles. J.J. Watt has 419. So to recap, Marvin Harrison, Drew Brees, Michael Strahan, Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, none of our 11 through 15 made either of our lists, and that is just baffling to me.
Yeah, repeat yours for me.
Marvin Harrison, Drew Brees.
It was in consideration. What was the last one?
Drew Brees.
No, I never made consideration.
Michael Strahan. Never even thought about him, did you?
No. Oh, I thought about him, but no.
Aaron Donald. Didn't long enough.
He was definitely considered. Yeah, he was on my first list.
Number 11, J.J. Watt.
Was considered, but I am interested to see the 2 big names. One of them I left off, but the 2 big names in that position that you potentially may have left. So we'll
Bruce
see.
Smith and Reggie White? Yeah.
You left those 2 off?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm going to shot. Let's just say when Thursday comes around.
Let's just say your list is going to be 2,000 and beyond. Then that's what we should have done.
No.
Look, I know I can already probably name your list.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm not going to do it here. I don't want to ruin it.
I just want to let you know there's a defensive player. I was shocked it made my Thursday list.
Oh, I'm curious. I really am. I really am. I'm super looking forward to this, 100%. We got to get those graphics out ASAP.
Hey, coming up next is 3 words or less for the AFC West quarterbacks. Aaron has got me giggling over here, man. We'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
If you host a podcast or run a small business, it's hard spreading the word. Friends want to check it out, but Crouch, will they?
Oh, they might today after seeing these graphics.
Well, it's time to grow your brand with Popple, P-O-P-L. Popple is an easy-to-use but high-tech digi business card. You can get your Popple using the code AMDRIVE for 20% off. Set up your links and share. People you share with will not need a Popple or the Popple app, so it makes it that much easier and more efficient. When you get your Popple and keychain, pops like even in credit card form, enter the code AMDRIVE in all caps for 20% off on popl.co. Any parting thoughts before we do a 3 words or less?
Yeah, I don't know. You threw me off. Like I'm just
Just because
no
you're JJ Watt?
J.J. Watt. Yeah, it's not the fact that you have J.J. Watt. It's the fact that you have Strahan, Donald, and Watt, and you're not going to have the all-time sack leader who went to 4 Super Bowls, who dominated his sport. But I don't know. We'll see. It's tough. I told you this was a tough task. It really was. It was unfair almost.
It was unfair. We have to go to like a top 25 next year because this is just horrible.
Amen.
All right. 3 words or less. Aaron, let's get started with by the way, it's the game where it's the first thing that comes to your mind in 3 words or less when you think of these, like said, quarterbacks. So Patrick Mahomes, 3 words or less, Aaron.
Patrick Mahomes, my 3 words for you are still the hunted. You're still the Chiefs. You're still the dominating force of the AFC West for the last, hell, even through the Alex Smith days. I want to say 7 years. I can't remember the last team that wasn't the Chiefs that won an AFC West title at this point in the Andy Reid era. So for me, all this distraction, the Justin Herbert love affair, the Derek Carr, getting the coach and getting Devontae and Russell Wilson's here. You're still the hunted, buddy.
I love it.
Don't forget it.
That's a great line. Mine is who needs Tyreek? Because I've said it before, I believe on the show. I'll say it again to everybody that's heard me say it. There was a guy who was there before that, like Tyreek Hill did not just join whenever Patrick Mahomes came into the league. Like Tyreek Hill was there before. And then Mahomes came in all of a sudden, oh, who is this cheetah guy? Well, that's Mahomes and Andy Reid for you. So they still have Mecole Hardman, still have Travis Kelce, and they're going to spread the ball around probably more now instead of force-feeding it to you. So who needs Tyreek? Go ahead and show him, my homeboy. I cannot wait.
All you got to do is keep your brother away from Juju Smith-Schuster, though, because that could be a recipe for disaster.
That's horrible.
Russell
Wilson, 3 words or less, Aaron, for Dane's Russ Wilson.
Yeah, so my 3 words for Russell Wilson are, hey, new guy. I love Russell Wilson. You guys know I've shared my affinity for him. But if you thought leaving Seattle and coming to this division was, going to be the stepping stone for your career, I think you're in for a rude awakening. So hi, new guy. I don't really have any words of encouragement for you.
What's your name?
Yeah.
I like it. Mine is, you like when people say, let Russ cook? Well, how about your recipe? Russell Wilson could have played it out in Seattle, but he never know. I want a new challenge. I want to prove myself again. Because it's not like this team has struggled the second half of the season because I smell it up after I do well the first 8 weeks. So, Russ, go ahead and cook, man. It's your recipe now. This is what you wanted, man. I rooted for you, but for the last, 10 years, you haven't done anything? It's amazing what a defense will do. Now, granted, I've been told they have a great defense this year. Not sure if I agree with that yet, but they've got some names on there. So this is your recipe, sir. Go out there, man. Cook it up. All right, Derek Carr.
All right, Derek Carr, my 3 words or less for him is stability is here. I mean, he did last year with no Henry Ruggs. You have the John Gruden situation. You have Rich Bisaccia as an interim head coach. It seemed like every week, it was something with the Raiders. We were talking about it here on the AM Drive. They're talking about it on all the shows. So now you have Josh McDaniels getting another shot. You have an offensive-minded head coach who's not stuck in the early 2000s like Gruden. Arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Buddy, I mean, you see the numbers they put up at Fresno State. You've got it all here. Darren Waller's back. Renfro's back. Josh Jacobs is back. They've got this new fun running back in Zamir White that could be a really fun watch this year. So for me, for Derek, stability is here. What can you do with it?
Mine is, because of what you said, mine is no excuses. If I hear one more person say, well, it's been good for so long, well, okay, that's great. Well, sometimes the best quarterbacks, like even a Tom Brady, will elevate their team even when the tough gets going and the going gets tough. So I want to see what Derek Carr does, because now that you have the things, I want to see if last year you playing well was just a for your fan base thing, or are you actually going to make that elite step? No excuses, pal. Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert, my 3. This was my favorite one to do because the world loves Justin Herbert. They are slobbering all over Justin Herbert. So my 3 words or less is new stat Padford.
Ooh.
I mean, the guy has a rocket arm. He puts up the numbers, but it does not translate to W's. Now, things could happen, but he's in the toughest. Again, all 4 of these guys, like someone has to finish 4th in this division. It's insane. So yeah, my 3 words for Justin Herbert, if they, don't succeed this year, is new stat Padford.
Mine is take the step. Like, cause that's all I've been hearing about. Boy, that Justin Herbert. I'm like, well, last time I said Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson win football games, and one of these guys, Justin Herbert, he doesn't do that. Like you have the offensive-minded coach who's a gambler. You've got the Keenan Allen. By the way, he's a great wide receiver for those of you that do not know. I don't know why everyone actually is all Justin Herbert over here. You have Mike Williams. Is he still on the team, Mike Williams?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's a jump ball machine. I used to love him at Clemson because he just jumped and caught everything you threw at him. So, take the step.
Well, for my purposes, I hope he takes the step as well, because I picked this up early in the offseason. I'm trying not to get it shadowed, but
that's cool.
It's a mint condition Justin Herbert card. So
wow, you and your cards, man.
Let's hope he takes the step for sure. So
love it. Take us out.
All right, that's going to do it here. Again, if you guys watched the show or if you caught the replay, make sure you check out our top 15 through 11. If you love it, let us know. If you hate it, let us know. Let's hear your top, 11 through 15 players, or give us your whole list. We'd love to see it. Can't wait to come back tomorrow and give you guys 10 through 6 of our NFL top 15. And, of course, 3 words or less. We're moving to the North, NFC, Ron Rodgers, Justin Fields, etc. And we potentially might have a special guest on tomorrow as well. But you make sure that you come back with us on the AM Drive every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. But until then, make sure you're supporting the YouTube channel. Go over there, search AM Drive with Mike and Aaron, hit the subscribe button. And, of course, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at AM Drive TV. So for Michael Carvelis, I am Aaron Crouch saying have a wonderful rest of your day, and make sure that during that day you do what?
Drive safe.
We are out.